just be on this side of the stage.
That's okay.
Hold on. Are you gonna take a picture?
Welcome to Lionsgate Academy's first annual spring show. I love Lionsgate because it's full of so many firsts, and it is a place for truly adventurous people, which every single person in this whole production is adventurous. We involved, oh gosh, I'd say close to 100 people in the production of this show, well over 30 kids, and countless parent volunteers, staff. It takes an army to build something this big, and I really, really hope that you all can sit back and enjoy it. I chose the Greek mythology one-act plays because they had multi-level literacy parts in it. So basically, each play was broken up into some parts that were more challenging and some parts that were more fundamentals. And I thought for our population that would be a good approach. They happened to be Greek myth. I also love the idea of the Greek myth because Greek theater is basically where Western theater started. So it makes sense, if we're starting at the very beginning with this whole extracurricular theater thing, to start at the very beginning, which is the Greeks.
The story of Echo Narcissus is about Echo, who is really chatty and gets silenced by Hera, the queen of marriage, or the goddess of marriage. So Echo gets silenced because she's really annoying Hera. And so she becomes the echo in a cave. So anyone who goes to that cave hears the last two words that they say from Echo. And then Narcissus, who loves himself and is completely obsessed with himself, he dies of love for himself by falling into a pond because he cannot be in a relationship with himself.
To punish Prometheus, the gods find a way to unleash all the miseries into the world. Do that by giving a box, Pandora's box, to Pandora. Once it's opened, all the miseries are unleashed, all the pain and suffering and all the bads, leaving only hope being the last thing in there.
The story of Demeter and Persephone is about a lovely girl named Persephone, and she's spoiled and beautiful, and she has this kind of overbearing mother, Demeter. Well, Persephone, it becomes the apple of the eye of Hades, the god of the underworld. And so Hades and Zeus can concoct a plan to steal Persephone. And so at the end, Persephone is Hades' bride, and she's trapped in the underworld.
I directed Atalanta and the Great Race, which is a story of a young girl who is raised by bears and doesn't want to get married. So she tells her father that if anyone can beat her in a race, then she'll marry them, but otherwise they will die. And in our story, they died by being chased off stage by a bear.
Sarah put this play in my hands because she knows that I play the ukulele. And she knows that there was a student that would be able to do that. He's a pretty good guitar player. And she thought that it might work, so she actually gave me this one without telling me what the process or what she had in mind.
I'm going to group you right now in kind of by ages because there will be mixed casts. There might be 7th graders and 11th graders in the same show. That's probably going to happen.
The casting process was me sitting with the plays and the required characters in the plays, and then a huge group of students. And I had help from a couple different people that split the kids up into, these are the kids you have on Monday, these are the kids you have on Wednesday, these are the kids you have on Thursday. And then I basically spent an entire weekend just plugging them in.
Hearing Fuli read as Hera was great. She played an angry Hera very well, and Madison played Echo very well by being super funny and chatty.
And there I was, shaking in my sandals. By the way, those are lovely sandals you're wearing. Where did you get them?
And then Will as Narcissus was just very funny.
Silly Narcissus bends towards the water to kiss its reflection, but as soon as he touches the water, his reflection disappears. Oh no, you're gone?
We were looking for people that would be able to go big as Zeus, which is Michael for sure. He's had so much fun with that part. We were looking for somebody for Pandora that could have a little, you'd be able to be sympathetic to, and that's something Tatum's definitely been able to pull off.
Try new things, take a risk. If you are, remember how in auditions, when I was like, oh, try it, have fun. When you're up there in rehearsal, you need to experiment. Rehearsal is all about experimentation. Try your character one way one day and try it a totally different way the next day. Something will work. A show would rehearse typically 2 days a week, except for one of the plays, which was a little shorter, and that was Pandora's Box. And that one had a lot of one-line bit parts of these characters that come out of the box. That play only got 1 day a week, basically. All the other plays got 2 days a week.
Okay guys, we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to try to get a couple read-throughs right now. So let's all go and sit in our seats. Coming to the outside again.
Raise your hand if you do not have a script.
They brought a lot to the table. I was really impressed with just how much they had their characters at the first read-through. And then there are things where I'd say, oh, let's try this. And they would say, okay, yes. Or they'd say flat out no, and we'd have to find a way to work around them. Regardless of age, and theater people are kind of all the same.
Perfect.
Is everything just a little bit flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Nice. So initially we were going to have 3 different songs sort of appropriate to each part, but our rehearsal process was so condensed. We only had 2 rehearsals a week, and there was only for 45 minutes a rehearsal, and we did it for 6 weeks. So trying to teach all of these separate songs in the play would have been too difficult. What happened was I actually gave the songs to Sam that I wanted to initially do, and he sort of played with them at home, and he essentially picked the one that we decided on, which was As Time Goes By.
I'm not sure. Maybe at the very
You should play F0 on that.
He started playing the ukulele early on, but it was really just familiarizing himself with it. And then so we didn't really start to work really hard on the music and start having him and Madison work together on the song until I would say about 2.5, 3 weeks before the show went up. And then I met with them a couple times a week. And Sam was really the one that did all of the work on the song, which was nice. He's really talented. Like I said, he's a bass player and a guitar player. I believe he's self-taught. He'd never picked up a ukulele before. I put it in his hands and he sort of started chording away.
All of the races were done to music, and so there was a tone in the different pieces of music, and the music was more or less handed to me by the director. And she said, yeah, I see 3, races, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then went to the different runners and said, okay, what is your character? Like, when you hear this music, who are you? And each one had a very distinctive take on it, each actor. And they were all 3 very different ones. So the last one, the third one, was perhaps mostly recognizable as song and dance. I think that Johnny was more or less channeling sort of the Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, feel to movement. What I did was I asked him to improvise. And from the improvisation, I pulled out certain moves which he did well, which I saw came naturally to him. And then I helped sort of create a rather limited pattern.
So we already had a bear being mentioned, that she was raised by them. So it seemed a little like we were missing something to not have a bear. The original concept was we would have a character with bear arms pulling people off stage. But then I thought, ooh, it'd be so much funnier if we had a bear and a Keaton who could actually do the removing. And so, yes, I didn't think that we'd get a bear, and then we found out, like, in the last few weeks or so, that we would be able to pull one of the students from a different play and have him be our bear. It worked out very well to pull this student because he was in another play in a dog costume, so we just had to change his ears and put a Keaton over his dog costume, and a bear was bored.
Our students, they know their lines, they know their staging, and they know what's appropriate behavior. We're able to step back, and we said, you know what? Turn it up a little bit.
Get me out of here. Sure, it's dark. There are souls of the dead roaming around. Are you used to it?
Colin decided to become a horse, and Alexander was going to use him as his chariot, and that was all them. That was nothing that we created. That was all like the little genius in their mind, and they had so much fun, and they're rolling around on the ground laughing.
As far as finding the props and costumes and stuff, I kind of looked at it as like a big process of delegation. And I was kind of the central organizer of everything, but then I had no problem asking people for help. And I found it easiest to say to one staff member who was particularly crafty, could you take care of these masks for me? And she, along with several students that were in a craft club, created the masks.
For this show, we had staff build the trees in the boat for the set. For both the boat and the trees, sort of fell on Justin Martin, one of our tech guys. He was the one that sort of finished them off. He designed all of the standing stuff. He had never done any scene design work before, and he did a really good job.
Theater ghosts. Yeah. We have theater ghosts in our play. And from my understanding, you're supposed to leave a light on in every theater, and it keeps the ghost away, which we haven't done. But yeah, we're plagued now. We've got our lead man out with the flu, which is very sad and unfortunate. Hopefully he'll be able to come back for one of the shows, but we don't know. And we just got our replacement today, and he is going to do an amazing job, I'm sure. But that's hard to lose somebody. I'm sure he's very disappointed. We've got Pandora's Box, which broke today.
Did it break?
And I am dead. Man will not live forever.
Good luck, good luck. Uh-oh.
Houston, we have a little problem.
So our best and biggest set piece opened up too quickly and cracked off at the top by death, which is funny.
Sam came down with influenza of some type. We had to find someone to perhaps stand in for him, and in our show we had Tyler. He was Aristeas. He did a really good job memorizing his part very quickly. So I asked him if he was willing to stand up and be our Orpheus.
Oh, Eurydice, we'll be so happy again together. You have no idea how much I missed you.
Eurydice did not answer.
He was a little bit nervous about it, but he did a really good job of just sort of stepping up to the plate.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
I graduated from Perpich in 1995, and the theater teacher who was the original theater teacher there, she was there year one, was my first real mentor, and her name is Barbara Morin, and I've kept in touch with her, and I actually worked there for a year. The year before Lionsgate started, I worked at Perpich as a one-on-one paraprofessional with a student with Asperger's syndrome.
My background in drama and arts was I went to Perpich Center for Arts Education, where we performed the play, and I was in theater, and I was also in theater since I was 9 or 8 or something like that, and I loved being in plays. I was in many, many, many plays.
I performed on that stage when I was the same age as some of our kids that were performing on that stage, and I had some of my, I think, biggest revelations as an actress on that stage. It was the first real theater that I had ever done.
Well, it was so fun to show people my history of where I was, and it looks the same as when I was there, and I performed in that theater many times.
I was a little nervous because by nature, the students like things to be very expected. And so I was like, this is a new environment. How are they going to react to it? And so my heart was pumping a little faster than usual. But right when we got there and I was explaining it to the kids, and I think I over-explained it. I was like, everyone brace yourself. There's a black stage. And they're all like, whatever, like that's fine.
I tried to pre-teach with them a little bit here, just talking to them about what I expected of them over at Perpich, and they took it to the next level. The theater teacher over there, Barbara, was in and out of our rehearsal the whole time, and she told me that night on the phone how impressed she was, how polite our kids were, how, you know, they didn't go wandering anywhere. They did what they were there to do. They were focused. They did their job. Okay, so this is Bear. Okay. This is Dog.
No such thing as a
Okay. You're gonna need people to help you put the ears. Yes. Okay.
Tech Week is always so, is it going to come all together? Even though you know it's going to come together, there's still that, what if it doesn't come together?
Opening night was electric, I think. Like getting the kids ready, that feeling when you're backstage and everyone's so excited. It's something that you can just feel when you walk into a room. I think that people's energy was just emanating.
2, 4, 6, 8, who do we appreciate? We love Lionsgate.
Opening night was amazing. It was, I don't think I've ever felt so proud of anyone in my life. Like, it was just, they were so great. They were so great, and I was very nervous and very excited, and it was so fun. It was so fun to get to just see the students shine and get so much encouragement and feel so proud of themselves and do so well.
I was very nervous. I was really excited for it to happen, and then once we actually got rolling, I think a lot of the kids settled down a lot, knowing, okay, this is happening.
Zeus, king of the gods.
I don't care if you're at the Guthrie or if you're at Lionsgate or you're at some community college. It doesn't matter. That opening night magic is, I think, something that is almost addicting for people because it feels so good.
The very opening of our play, we had our main character leave the theater when she was supposed to be coming on, and I remember my heart sank right when she was supposed to come on, and I was like, oh no, and the kids started improvising, and it was brilliant. They were saying lines that I thought were wittier than was in the script, and they really started bouncing off of each other.
I was so proud of everyone in our play. Hearing the audience laugh, you know it's funny, but at the same time, you're kind of like, but what if it's not funny? Yes, it's funny. I knew it was funny.
Wednesday we got the call that Sam was probably going to be in, and then on Thursday we had confirmation. And Tyler was grateful actually that he didn't have to stand in for Sam. So we got to opening night on Thursday night, and it just never occurred to me. I was so happy that he had made it back to do his part that it never occurred to me to introduce him to the space. So as we are getting ready for him to go on for his initial entrance for the play in front of people, I realized that he had never even seen the area that we were acting in. And so I just kind of pointed to stuff from off stage and said, this is where you're going to need to sit around on stuff, and he did a great job of adapting to it.
When they were doing the curtain call and the audience was, on their feet, the energy wasn't coming from the stage at that point, it was coming from the audience, and the kids can feel that, you know. They were basking in it. And so was I. I was really just genuinely proud of them.
You work really hard and long, and then you have a few performances, and then that's it. You know, and then you have to come down off of this energetic, you know, you have a lot of energy through this. And it was such a fun and fulfilling experience.
There is a lot of extra work that goes into it, but the rewards far outweigh it. To be able to see those kids who I think by nature have large personalities, make their personalities grow exponentially and they become larger than life on stage, and to not even have to worry about if they're going to succeed or not. They really they're able to rock it out, and it was amazing.
Maybe someday down the road we will do a full-length big production like that. I think though that right now one acts are a better fit for us, and it makes it so as many people as possible get the opportunity to get up there and give it a shot.